happy Fresh Friday. We are back with another episode to help you along on your wellness journey, share some knowledge on some natural remedies, and we're so excited to be here with you today. I trust that your day is going well so far, that you have had some time to unwind, that you plan to relax, that you plan to come into Juamoto today to get some amazing, delicious, and nutritious food. Dr. Tao will be joining us shortly, and we will dive right in. We will be talking about 3 additional herbs to help you along on your wellness journey. I want us to just remember and reflect on the fact that it's okay if you were not taught these things early on. A lot of us are coming into new knowledge just in this day and age, and some of us are well into our 20s, 30s, 40s, etc. And we were taught different things as we were raised. So it's actually a beautiful thing, and it should be very empowering to learn about this now and to be able to share this knowledge with other people. So don't just come on the live and learn things for yourself, but also take the knowledge that you learn and pass it on to your friends and your family members. You know, feel free to let them know, to send them a link to any of the previous Fresh Fridays. I believe this is episode 14. I'm not sure. I know that we're coming up on 20 pretty soon. So yes, definitely yourself. And yes, that's what I wanted to say today. Instagram has been giving a lot of technical difficulties on my end. I'm not sure if anybody else. There we are. Greetings, Dr. Tao.
Hey, Akunna, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you today?
That's good. Doing great. Doing very well.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just letting everyone know that they should feel free to share this information. They should feel empowered to share this information with other people, send them links to previous Fresh Fridays and such. Because although some of us are just now learning this knowledge, we don't need to keep it to ourselves.
Exactly. I think you froze up a little bit though, okay? But yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's dive right in. I know the restaurant is opening pretty soon.
Yeah.
What are the herbs that we're speaking on today?
All right, first we'll do tribulus.
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 Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And this is I need to contact okay, offline, that's fine. Sorry. Yeah, the triplet is good for erectile dysfunction in men, and it's also good for like if someone gets dizzy very easily or imbalance issues. This is going to help a lot with that issue. So the triplet is very good for that. It's also good for the immune system, but mainly it's for erectile dysfunction and dizziness.
Oh, okay. So if somebody gets like motion sickness, would that be similar too?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'd be good for that. So this is good for that. Any type of motion sickness, imbalance of the inner ear, things like that. So it helps a lot. But this one's kind of stubborn, so you do want to boil this one for about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay. Boil
very prickly, so be careful when you touch it because it will stab your fingers.
Oh.
Very, very,
oh, wow. Okay.
Very, very prickly. So this is called tribulus fruit.
Does that, I know that it has the prefix tri. Is that why? Because it's kind of like triangular?
It looks like it though. Yeah, you can say that for sure. It looks like almost like a pyramid almost.
Nice. Look, I'm trying to get into the words like you.
The words. Cool.
Awesome.
All right. If I've done some of these before, let me know because sometimes I lose track of what I've covered. Next one is Garuntola.
Whoa, you definitely haven't done that one before. It looks like an acorn or something.
It does, doesn't it? But it's like it's actually another name for it. It's called snot apple. And this is for women who have trouble giving birth. This is mainly for endometriosis.
Okay.
So it helps restore the mucous membrane in the endometria, so that they can actually restore their reproductive system and give birth. So this is the Garuntola.
And I must ask, how is that used? Do they just pop the whole thing in the mouth and start eating it, or?
Yeah, you can actually chew it. It is like an acorn almost, but it has like it's very slimy inside of it. You can't really see
Wow,
inside of it.
that's where the
But
snot come into it.
yeah, it's like the colloquial name is the snot apple,
Mm.
which I don't like saying that too much.
Right.
But it's like, oh, no snot. So it's like so that's for people. But you can actually boil it too. You'll boil it for about an hour to kind of
Okay.
extract the nutrients from it.
And it's called
And
Garoon.
Darun Tola, so Gorun, and then Tula.
Garontola. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a very rare one. You won't really find that too much around.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that
Yeah, it's a
before.
very rare one. Um, and then you have, I may have done this one already, the Cascada Sagrada. I think I've done that one though.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I've done the Wormwood too, right?
No, I don't think you've done Wormwood.
I think I may have did last week. Maybe. I'm losing track of these now. We've done so many herbs. But the one where we have done it again is for candida and yeast infections.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, now I think I remember.
yeah, so that's very good to do. If I don't have another one up here right now, we do. Let me see. We do have other herbs here that I haven't covered for sure, but I just probably won't do all of them. But
Okay. Now, if we have a little bit more time, I want to highlight your consultations because
okay,
I know that it's great to get this information and, it might be some of the things that we are dealing with. However, when you have your consultations, you do you go into more
yeah,
depth. So can you tell us a little bit more about that and how someone can book one of those?
yeah, for sure. So you can book through the website, Dr. Tao, doctor spelled out TAU.com. Um, the healing course, I'm gonna push that back. It's not gonna be in June. So someone asked about that in the chat. But yeah, so I basically just go through the different parts of the body to show what the body is trying to point to for more oxygen or more healing. So I'll just go through the hair, the skin, the fingernails, the palms, all those lines in your hand. I interpret those for you to tell you what that means. I go to the ears, the eyelashes, the face, the teeth, the feet, whatever you feel comfortable with doing. It's all non-invasive. So, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. If you don't feel comfortable with taking off your shoes, then you can skip that portion. Then I go into the emotional aspects of eating, and I made those little metaphysics in there as well to kind of let you know what's happening on that dimensional reality. Because most of it's not taking place here. It was just coming from an emotional framework of thinking that's condensing itself into disease.
Yeah.
So it's pretty in depth. I may go into a little history of medicine and herbs and how to use them properly and how to find your particular medicinal range. That way you're not just taking them haphazardly and just getting lost in it. So there is a range that you're supposed to take that helps it become more effective. And there's many ways of just looking at the body. The body holds no secrets, is what I always say. So when someone comes to you, they bring the crime scene with them. And I'm just a forensic scientist. That's all I'm doing. I'm studying what happened and what caused it. So
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm definitely getting a full consultation while I'm here. I know you had helped me because I got some blood work done and you looked at that and told me a few things. So that was beautiful. However, it's like our bodies are always speaking to us. And if we don't know the language, we might need a translator, such as
yeah,
yourself, to tell us.
all I do is
Even,
translate. Yeah,
you're
that's all I do.
right. Something as simple as I keep getting breakouts right here because I literally, I
Yeah,
got a couple right here. So,
yeah, totally right there. So
yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
So,
there's many ways to look at the body from a metaphysical standpoint or a physical standpoint or emotional standpoint. They're all saying the same things in their own language. So
hmm
a chiropractor and an optometrist and these different doctors will tell you the disease you have from the lens of their science. So they're all saying the same thing. So it's basically it all comes down to linguistics. So if someone can confuse you with words, then they can sell you a remedy.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
you go to the doctor and they say, okay, you have diabetes, and you go home and you say, okay, I have diabetes, but that doesn't solve the problem. It's put a name onto what you were dealing with.
Right.
So diabetes means to siphon. So the word diabetes means to urinate frequently.
Mm.
So someone who tends to urinate quite frequently. But that's just one disease of the pancreas. There's many diseases of the pancreas.
Right.
Irritability is a disease of the pancreas because the
Mm.
pancreas doesn't deal with anger, temperament. You see, so
Mm.
the way you flush that out is just take nutmeg tea twice a month to flush out the
Oh,
pancreas. So I had a client a few months ago was dealing with pancreatic cancer, and she started taking that, and it went away. So it's many ways of getting rid of the issues that we're dealing with. So
right.
it's just we're just not taught these elements of how to deal with these issues. So we think it's just something we can't get over.
Mm-hmm.
But
And that's why it's called holistic healing, because it deals with the whole. It's not just about how you eat, but it's about other things too. So thank you
yeah.
so much for that offering. Someone asked if we have time for a quick question. Sarah says needing help with first trimester nausea and sometimes vomiting.
Okay, so the body's going to do a purging process. See, the womb will not allow itself to be acid. So what the body does in the first trimester of pregnancy is it's going to push the woman's body into alkalinity. So all that purging and nausea, that means that's indicative of how her lifestyle was before. You see, so so the baby can have it in a hospitable place to grow. So a lot of those symptoms are coming from the body going through its own purging process, its own fast, its own way of healing, and it sometimes comes out very violent, but that's just the process of the damage we've done to our bodies over the decades of living here. So that's the body just trying to purge itself of the toxins that's already in it already. So.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you so much. I know the restaurant is about to open, so open until 3 p.m. today. Come on in, get some amazing food, delicious and nutritious and fulfilling, all of that. I'm so excited because it's been like 3 months. No, it's been longer than 3 months. It's been too long.
Yeah.
I just know it's been too long. And I need that sunfire wrap today.
Yeah.
So I will be in. And he also has more herbs that we haven't covered on Fresh Friday yet. But I encourage you to go back and watch previous episodes. I know we're coming up on episode number 20 right now. Some of them we talked about some of the foods and herbs, fresh herbs and things of that nature. So definitely go through. There's a lot of knowledge there just waiting for you to receive it.
Awesome. Awesome. For sure.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Tao.
No problem. I guess I'll see you later on today.
Yes, definitely.
It's
Peace.
another question on here. What
Oh.
should she drink? Yes.
Oh, okay. What should she drink? I think that's what the pregnant woman.
Um, I mean, really, coconut water is probably the best thing to kind of, because coconut water is a food and a cleanser at the same time.
Mm.
It's the only food on the planet that does it. It cleanses the cell and restores it simultaneously through its electrolytes. So you want to just kind of get into that. You don't want to purge and cleanse too much because a lot of those toxins can end up in the bloodstream with the womb. So you want to be careful with detoxing while you're pregnant. Technically, you're supposed to detox 2 years prior to having the baby, the man and the woman. So it's a 2 year, it's a 2 year procession to pregnancy that you're supposed to start to detox so you can get the body ready.
Wow.
And then the man has to make sure that he wants, if he his intention, we call it the charge of intent. The charge of intent is going to spin the X and Y chromosome, or X and X, to create a girl or a boy. So it takes 7 days to charge the brain to an intention. So if he charges an intent with desire, he'll create a girl. If he charges it with more lustful type of emotions, he'll create a boy.
Wow.
So it takes the XX and it decides if the second one should be turned into a Y. So a lot of times we don't realize what we're saying, but if a woman doesn't want to deal with you anymore, then she takes your Y and throws it back into an X.
Mm.
You're now my ex. You see.
Wow.
So when we're saying those words, we're just saying that the woman has no use for you anymore. You're my ex, my former lover, my former whatever. So Those are kind of a play on words, but really essentially that's the energy taking place on the fourth and fifth dimensional realms there. But essentially the charge of intention is going to charge how the baby is going to be produced and how the baby is going to have his own path of righteousness and fortitude on the planet. So that intention, it was not too strong. It was not strong enough. Then that charge of intent doesn't make it past a certain amount of years for the baby. So they may say, okay, that Y may be coming back to X, and they say they transgender. You see, they may want to change their gender because that charge of intent wasn't strong enough to make it pass up through a lifetime. So that intention is charged through the mind of the man while he's with the woman. So the stronger it is, it'll make it to the duration of the human lifespan. But if it's not strong enough, then they may want to change their gender based off the charge of intention.
Wow. You see, when I was, not to get too political or anything here, but when I was speaking to someone about something along those lines, and I said, it sounds like kind of like confusion, and they got really, really upset with me. But I was just really trying to break it down to find the root of things, because so many times we just graze it over and try to call it something else. But
yeah, it's called charge of intention in chemistry.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of wows and whoas in the comments. So thank you for sharing that. That is, wow. That is definitely a powerful piece of information.
Yeah. So that's very important when it comes to just finding a mate and procreating. That's the intention is always going to create the child. A child knows it's not loved by the moment of his birth if the intention was not there. So they'll feel it their whole life. You see. So it's a connection there. We call it epigenetics. So the environment can switch on and switch off certain genes. So that has to be there in a stable state so that it can stay stable in this child's mind. So remember, the womb outside and the womb inside of this, they're two environments, the same thing. So you have two wombs at play: the womb that you're in when your mother, and then the womb that she lives in, which you call society, which nurtures her.
Right. In the environment of the mother.
Yeah, so right now you're in your second womb. You see. So you're in your second womb right now, and that's the womb, and that womb is supposed to allow you to nurture your culture, you see. But if it's not there, then it becomes unnurturing to the genes, which can switch those X's and Y's into however they want to, based off the intention of the charge of society.
Wow.
So you have two charges there, the society charge and your personal charge, which is created by your parents. Which one should win? That's why it says the stronger of two nations will always prevail. So it says, essentially we're talking about the rock, which is, that charge is what keeps the pineal gland from calcifying. The pineal gland is supposed to be extremely hard and stiff like a rock. So it talks about Peter being a rock, and it says, upon this temple I should build my church, or upon this rock, which is the mineral, the pineal gland, I should build my church, which is society.
Wow.
So upon my pineal gland, I will create my world that you see as Juamoto. You see everything. That's my church. So upon this temple, I should build my. You see what I create here. So that's essentially what we're talking about. So what you're seeing is the strength of my pineal gland, essentially. What you call it tau comisium quelli, but it's just the pineal gland network. That's all it is.
Look, I gotta close my mouth. I just be like, every time you're talking, I'm just like, thank you so much. Wow. Okay. Whew. I gotta like breathe all that in. Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Tao. We really appreciate that. And we always appreciate you sharing all that knowledge that you have. I'm surprised that your head isn't like 10 times bigger than it is. Walking around having to hold your head up. But much gratitude to you. This has been an amazing Fresh Friday, and looking forward to seeing you later. And some of you in the comments, come to Juamoto. I would love to see you in person. And
yeah, Renee's on here too. Yeah, Renee's a new regular here.
Oh, so. Greetings, Renee. And hi, Shakira, Chris.
Faith, appreciate you.
Yes, Jules, all the way from El Salvador. Fifi Lamour. We appreciate all of you. And we will be back next week with another episode of Fresh Friday.
For sure, for sure. All right, I'll see you later.
All right. See you.
All right.
Bye.